Hey guys, so it's been a while. If you've been following my channel, then you know I've been a pretty avid user of Anime Amino and a lot of the different apps. This time around, they actually have a pretty interesting thing going on. It's kind of like a little event called Camp Anime with just loads of different things to do. One of them in particular has my interest, and it's My First Anime, and it's basically taking a trip down memory lane and kind of talking about like one of your first anime that, you know, really you have memories with. There's all sorts of cool prizes. Definitely follow me on there. So definitely check out Camp Anime on Anime Amino, link in the description below and the pinned top comment, because I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna be on there quite a bit talking about certain aspects. You could also cosplay on there, show down your cosplay, AMVs, and just tons of events. Hey, it's summertime, you don't got nothing to do, maybe you read a bunch of stuff, you want to talk about it, hit up Camp Anime. So it's been confirmed some details regarding the upcoming Fairy Tail spinoff or sequel. Now, I could definitely say that it's going to be more along the lines of a sequel than a spinoff, as far as the fact that it's called Fairy Tail 100-Year Quest, which, if you remember correctly, at the end of Fairy Tail, that's one of the journeys that they were setting off on, that they were going to do this 100-year quest. I mean, I guess it could be in the vein of a spinoff if they're not really focusing in on the characters that Fairy Tail mainly focused in on, because, you know, at the end of the day, even though we had the whole Fairy Tail guild, the main characters, of course, were like Natsu and Lucy, and in the promo art that we have for it, at the very least, there's no Lucy, but we do see Natsu, because we got 3 images that Hiro Mashima showcased, because if I'm not mistaken, I believe Hiro Mashima is not drawing this one, but he is doing the story, which, you know, I probably would have preferred to see somebody else's take on doing the Fairy Tail world and him draw it, but obviously drawing is a lot, I want to say, arguably more taxing than the writing, because writing, you know, you come up with the idea, the concept, and you write it out, and bam. But with the art, you know, that takes a lot of time, especially if you want to make it look good, and Hiro Mashima has, you know, pretty damn nice art. Like, you can never deny that Hiro Mashima can draw. Like, he's a incredible artist when it comes to drawing his series. So he's going to be doing the story and somebody else is going to be doing the art. But based on what I've seen so far, we have 3 images here. We have one of Loxus, we have one of Gildarts, and then we have one of Natsu. So I'm kind of curious exactly how this is going to go. Are they just not going to focus in particular on one person, or are they going to just play it out straight like if it's Fairy Tail continuing? We know that Hiro Mashima is currently working on his other series, Eden's Zero, which I need to get back on that. I'm a couple chapters behind, but it was pretty interesting from what I read thus far. So I'm kind of wondering what the quality of this is going to be like, because we already know Fairy Tail just had so many problems. It was just like left and right. Every week I was coming in here like, Hiro Mashima did it again, people. So the fact that his attention is going to be divided, and at this point I'm imagining his main priority now is making Eden Zero the next big thing, you know, right? Like, this is his 3rd series now. He's trying to make another banger, you know, another popular one. So he's going to be really focusing in on that series, which kind of makes me worry about Fairy Tail, because if Hiro Mashima was, you know, struggling to a certain degree on not doing some questionable things with Fairy Tail, how is he going to be able to write it to a degree that at the very least is like enjoyable and acceptable without making many blunders if his attention is divided, especially when now Fairy Tail isn't going to be his main priority. I don't want to, you know, believe that he's going to put more emphasis on a Fairy Tail spinoff when he's working on a whole other new series that, again, he's trying to get up from the ground and, you know, make a success. So it's going to be interesting to see how this one plays out. I'm a little bit skeptical, to be honest with you. I don't know if I'm going to necessarily review it on a consistent basis. Maybe I'll talk about it once in a while, or maybe I'll talk about the first chapter, and if anything big happens here and there, I'll talk about it, because I'm just not that interested anymore. I mean, Fairy Tail, you know, I stuck with it through to the end. I reviewed everything, and even towards, you know, the bitter end, the final fights and stuff, Hiro Mashima, I felt, definitely disappointed a lot of people, including myself. And this 100-year quest, I'm skeptical, to be honest with you. It's like, for starters, we don't really know too much about it, other than, okay, it's a Fairy Tail spinoff, it's a kind of sequel. We know that based on, you know, the art that he's given us, that Gildarts, Loxus, and Natsu are going to be a part of it. Now, maybe the reason why he's saying spinoff is that the whole series is going to be revolved around these 3 characters, which, that's kind of smart, because if you think about it, those are 3 of the most popular characters in Fairy Tail. Everybody loves Gildarts, Loxus is a fan favorite, and of course Natsu, the main character. So if it's these 3 characters going on this incredible quest that is really difficult, I'm kind of curious to see what the popularity is like, if people are even going to still care at this particular point, because it's like, you know, Fairy Tail's been over for a bit, and a lot of people they have a sour taste in their mouth for it. I don't think I could see this getting animated at any given point, because I know we have the final season of the anime, but at this point, Fairy Tail is kind of like an afterthought. A lot of people have moved on, and yeah, the anime, when it comes back, maybe it'll be a success. I don't know, but yeah, I'm just not so sure about this Fairy Tail 100-year quest. And again, that's the information we have thus far. No signs of Lucy. I'm sure Happy will be in here, although it's going to be weird to see Happy in this series, and Eden Zero as well. Is like, what's going on? Overload of Happy. Kind of curious what you guys' thoughts is though on this whole thing. Are you interested in Fairy Tail's 100-year quest manga that they're coming up with, this spin-off series? I mean, again, you know, if it's something different, and maybe Hiro Mashima doesn't make the same blunders, because now you got to think too, at the time he was trying to keep the series going and keep the series popular, and maybe he felt those decisions that he made at the time were necessary to keep it popular. But now that Fairy Tail is over, and this is just like, you know, an extra little side dish for the fans that still want more Fairy Tail, maybe he won't make the same mistakes that he made in the past. Maybe he's learned just a little bit. I want to give him credit, just a little bit on not doing certain things. I don't know about Eden Zero's past couple chapters. I do know that Eden Zero was definitely a lot more interesting from what I read, so maybe Hiro Mashima, he can apply some of those things that he did to, you know, Eden Zero to this new Fairy Tail thing. But another thing that I gotta ask, because, you know, Fairy Tail got real grandiose towards the end of the big scale fights. We had, of course, Zeref and Actologia, and those were two incredible fights. And if this is a 100-year quest, unless it's something really, really silly and it's just all a joke to begin with, which is possible, and at that point, that's just like, you're wasting my time, bro. You're wasting everyone's time if it's just like some stupid joke or whatever. If this is a 100-year quest, which that was the equivalent to what I believe Gildarts called the mission of him hunting down Actologia, then what the hell could this quest be if it has to be on that same scale? I mean, I guess it could just be like hunting something down, like a rare item of a sort. That could possibly be the whole, you know, quest in and of itself, of hunting something down that is hard to find. But even so, I'm kind of like, if we've already done these huge things, Natsu has defeated foes that, like, there's just no, like, yo, how did he do it, right? So what can even be a threat at this given point if Natsu is indeed involved in this 100-year quest? Because if he's a part of the main crew of, you know, if it's Gildarts, Loxus, and Natsu, which again, that could just be concept art from the first chapter. It might not have anything to do with Natsu. Natsu might be, oh, well, I'm going on something else right now, or maybe we won't get that much screen time, but still, it's like, anybody that comes in this world at this point, to our knowledge, Actologia was the biggest and baddest of the world. And if he's not a part of this, then who's really going to give a challenge to Natsu, unless this whole quest has to do with fighting some of the other people? Because up until this point, I will give credit in one regard, that the 1L Natsu truly took, and I thought that would have been an incredible character development moment, an incredible moment just to change things for Fairy Tail, but it didn't happen, was Gildarts. Gildarts taking down Natsu. Now, if it's somewhere in the vein of that, where Natsu can't beat somebody maybe from one of the guilds or his own guild, and that's part of the quest somehow, then maybe it could work, but still, I'm kind of like, he's already slayed some of the most incredibly strong foes in this Fairy Tail verse. There's probably nobody else left at that level of like Actologia and Zeref. You know, they were just monsters. So how do you give a threat that can even matter at this point? Again, unless you extract Natsu from the equation, and just kind of play with some other characters. But then at that point, it's like, we've already had how many Fairy Tail spin-offs where it focused in on like different characters. So maybe he wants to make this spin-off slash sequel still Fairy Tail, and it's just like, he's writing some extra Fairy Tail on the side. But I'm overall, I don't like to be that guy, but at the same time, it's like, Fairy Tail itself wasn't the greatest thing in the world, so how much are we gonna get out of this when, one, it's a spin-off sequel, two, Hiro Mashima's attention is divided heavily with, I'm imagining, more in favor of making Eden Zero everything he possibly can make it, and, you know, trying to make that succeed. And on top of that, what threats can we have left that can challenge them, that can be a part of this 100-year quest? What is it? Is it finding something else that is even stronger than the one magic, which... was the one magic really strong when Natsu took it? I don't even want to get into that. Kind of curious what you guys think about this, though. Are you excited? Are you looking forward to Fairy Tail's 100-year quest spin-off, sequel, whatever. Who do you think is going to be a part of it? Again, we have Laxus, Guild Arts, and Natsu a part of the arts. Also, do you think maybe instead of Hiromashima writing it, he should have drew it or just not been involved in general, or maybe just gave like a rough draft, a la like some Toriyama with the Dragon Ball Super anime, just like, hey, this is what happens, point A, point B, point C, point D, you guys fill in the blanks, and maybe we could have got a better series out of it. I mean, I'm gonna be open-minded. I'm gonna see what the vibe is like. You know, I'll check out the first chapter, maybe I'll talk about it, whatever, but I'm just like not gonna keep my hopes that high when, again, Fairy Tail disappointed time and time again. What is a spin-off sequel gonna be when Hiromashima probably isn't really focusing in all his attention on this? But that is all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, stalk my Facebook, follow me on Twitch, and hit the bell to get all notifications. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule: anime and manga for life, boy. Bow. Have an awesome day. We make a major move, laugh and let the haters lose. We don't give a fuck, virginity intact, clean stack. Paper rules, if you heard it, best believe that. But now it's whatever, one day I'll be your favorite, but never.